magician at the time, you weren't a gay rights activist. There wasn't much time or room in your life to have both of those things going on at the same time.
Very, very true. And not only that, during that time, I also, for a couple of years, did a radio program, a major radio program out of New York.
Is it accurate to say you were the successor of Long John Neville, that great, that great broadcaster?
Yes, I took over his program after he left and went to another station. I was immediately invited to replace him the very next night, and I did so with quite some success until I ran into the Archbishopric of New York, but that's a different story altogether.
So you were in New York during the time period of the Stonewall riots, but you had this magic career and this broadcasting career. You weren't a figure in the gay rights movement. You were in the closet.
That's, essentially, yes. But I wasn't hiding in the closet. I just found the closet door. There it was. I didn't necessarily retreat. As a matter of fact, I should mention something else, that I grew the beard very early on, but I grew the beard not to try to produce a macho image or any such thing. I've managed that without the beard. I grew it because I was a magician, and it added to flavor on stage, and I still think it looks pretty good on me.
Yeah, in fact, it's gotten a little bushier since after the chemo, right?
Oh, yes. My chemo body is pretty well repaired now, and the beard is full and luxuriant again. I can actually comb it instead of just picking at the strands, you see.
It's funny you mentioned that you grew the beard. You were talking about you having the beard. In closeted parlance, the beard is something a gay man has at cocktail parties, the woman on his arm to make it that he can pass as a straight guy. You never tried to pass as a straight guy versus a gay guy. You were in the closet, but you didn't pretend that you were straight. You didn't have girlfriends and that sort of stuff, did you?
Oh, I had lady friends, but I wouldn't call them girlfriends. Certainly nothing of that nature. But there was no protective coloration, DJ. I never adopted any kind of protective coloration. I was what I was, and I am what I am, like Papa used to say. It was just there, and if anyone asked, I was quite frank and open about it, and they'd usually just shrug and say, "Oh, really?" And that was the end of that. I never lost any friends or acquaintances because of it. I think I sold it rather well.
And if you would have lost friends or acquaintances from coming out, they might not have been the sort of folks you wanted as friends or acquaintances.
Exactly. And for all I know, I may have lost some that dropped away and decided not to have anything more to do with me. But I didn't care one way or the other because, as you say, they wouldn't be worth having.
So, Randy, what gives with you always making jokes about how gorgeous Sophia Loren is?
Well, for one thing, I believe she is gorgeous, and I've often used the joke or the excuse, if you will. I always say, that's not oil of Olay. There's some witchcraft going on here, so maybe I have to give away the $1 million prize to Sophia. And I named my car, my little Miata, I named it Sophia, and that's just making light of the thing. I don't, again, there's no protective coloration involved here. I've never adopted that in any way.
So you've never told people that you were straight, even though you were gay. You're a man for whom the truth is primary value, so you're not going to lie to people in that way.
No, not in any way. No, I'm, if nothing else, I'm honest. Also good looking.
Yeah, well, there you go. Randy, you've been in a partnership, a long-term relationship, a kind of marriage for many, many years. Let me ask you where you stand on gay marriage versus civil unions and all that.
Oh, well, I would very much like to see the law be established that gay marriage is possible. And indeed, I'm even considering doing exactly that. I'm, after all, 81. You got to hurry along, You don't have all that amount of time. But if it were a little more widespread, perhaps I could just fall into it easily. Wow. But I don't see any reason for it.
So let me make sense out of that there. You're saying that you would consider entering into a legal marriage with your partner of many years. What, if it were legal in Florida, or it is legal right now in 6 places in the United States? Would you two travel to those places, one of those places, get married, or what are you saying?
It might be a waste of time and airfare, as a matter of fact, DJ, because I would want it to be legal in Florida, since I own property here and inheritance rights and all of those things. I would want it to be legal here. Otherwise, it wouldn't be very effective for me.
But if it were legal, you'd be all for it. In other words, what I hear you saying is that you think it should be legal everywhere.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I certainly believe that, yes.
Oh, okay. The libertarian streak runs deep in some of these skeptics who might be for civil unions, for the right of people to enter into these legal relationships, but they might think marriage itself is a religious institution. Do you get bogged down in those distinctions, or you just want equal rights?
Well, I have no religious convictions whatsoever, so I guess the answer is evident.
Okay. I want to get something else out of the way. You're gay, and you just implied you're an atheist. Well, no religious convictions, but we've talked before. You're an atheist. So you're gay and you're an atheist. Well, Randy, I'm gay and I'm an atheist. So to set the record straight, the JREF board pursued me for the position of president of the JREF, obviously because of those two qualifications, right?
Hardly. No, as a matter of fact, I'll be quite frank with you, DJ. I had not met you when nominations were asked for the new president of the JRF, and I had known her name for years, of course. I had not actually met you, and I had no reason to even wonder whether you were gay or not. And you fell into that position very nicely as a result of your talent and your qualifications, not because of your sexual orientation in any way. And I wouldn't want anyone out there listening to this program to think for a second that the JRF is in any way gay-oriented. The fact that we've got a few people in here who are gay, there's no question of that. They make no bones about it. But I don't want anyone to think, oh, now this is a gay organization. Get out of here. That's ridiculous. Any more than saying that it's Protestant or it's an atheist organization.
Well, it's interesting you said that. You know, there has been some hand-wringing out there that you're an atheist and I'm an atheist, therefore is the JREF now an atheist organization? Well, if it is now because I'm an atheist, it always was because you're an atheist and you've always been kind of ruling the roost. But in fact, we're not an atheist organization either.
That's very true. And I want to make one thing else very clear here, just to make sure that we've swept the floor clean here. I am an atheist of what I call the second kind. There are atheists, according to dictionary definitions such as Webster's, where the first meaning of atheist is one who denies the existence of a deity. Then a second classification is one